starting an LLC might sound a little bit complicated, but I think as we break down some of the terminology, we'll understand it's really not that difficult.
And we are the official state government website, azcc.gov.
Yes, that's correct. I would add that if you have any questions, we have a really robust FAQs page that offers a lot of information and it will help provide clarification with any of the questions that you might be having. Currently, there's about 1.3 active LLCs in the state of Arizona alone. One of the nice things about an LLC is that it's perpetual, meaning that it will exist indefinitely until the owner wants to terminate that LLC.
And so, are there certain qualifications to start an LLC?
Great question. The short answer is no. There are no qualifications to start an LLC. Anyone can start an LLC. So generally speaking, there's about 7 requirements to start your LLC, and I'll just list them off here. The first is an organizer. The organizer is the person who's going to organize or form and then file the LLC, right? So who's submitting the paperwork? Who's organizing it? The second is the business name. That's the fun part. Give us the business name in which you want to register your LLC. The third is the principal address. In other words, that's the business address. There's a lot of confusion there, but principal address means the principal place where you'll be conducting or operating your business.
So that could be your home, right?
Absolutely, it can be a home.
And it has to be a physical address?
It
Can
doesn't.
it be a P.O. box?
It can be a P.O.
Okay.
box. It can be virtual. The business address can be anywhere. And of course, we know that there are a lot of online-only businesses. And moving on, you'll provide the name and address of your statutory agent. That one confuses a lot of people. It's actually pretty straightforward, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But again, the name and address of the statutory agent. The fifth requirement is you'll indicate whether you're going to be member managed or manager managed. And simply put, you'll decide if the LLC is going to be managed by its owners or managed by managers. And again, we'll talk about that a little bit more in just a sec.
That sounds confusing.
The sixth is the names and addresses of your members and or managers. And the seventh is sign and submit. And there you have your articles of organization, which is the document used to organize your LLC. A lot of times you have single members, single owners, and a lot of times it's the owner who does it all. So the organizer may certainly be the owner. It doesn't have to be, but again, it's the person who's organizing, forming the business.
Okay. And the fun part?
Yeah, the fun part, the business name. This is where you as a business owner are going to become really creative and provide us with the name under which you want to register your LLC. The main rule here is that the business name needs to be distinguishable from all other companies that are registered in the state of Arizona.
So you can't have the same name as Macy's or Nordstrom.
Exactly. So these companies that are all known to us are likely registered under that name. And so if you file online, the good thing, again, our online system has a lot of tips, guidance, suggestions. If you file online, our online system will tell you if your name is available or not. So again, it's got to be distinguishable from all other names on record.
All right.
Principal address, that's the third requirement. And again, that's your business address. It doesn't need to be a real place, but it is what you're indicating to be the chief place of business, the place where you're operating your business or your business affairs, or perhaps you're managing. But again, your principal address is your business address.
And obviously, it has to be in the state of Arizona.
For LLCs, it doesn't need to be.
Oh.
Yeah, for an
You can,
LLC, it can be anywhere, virtually anywhere, your principal address. There's no requirement that it needs to be in Arizona. But again, just as a helpful tip, when you indicate your principal address, what you're signifying is that this is the address where you're either running your business, managing your business affairs. So just keep that in mind. A statutory agent, otherwise referred to as a registered agent. Here in Arizona, we call it a statutory agent. It's a person or a business whose responsibility is to accept legal documents that are served onto the business. The statutory agent would receive any legal documents. Let's say a subpoena comes to the business. The statutory agent must receive it and then forward it on to the business. A statutory agent can be one of the owners of the business. It can be a separate company. It can be a law firm. It can be a service company. But again, the statutory agent's responsibility is to receive and then forward on to the business, any legal documents that are served. The requirements for a statutory agent is that if it's an individual, they must reside in Arizona. The statutory agent does have to have an Arizona address. They have to be located here so that they can be served potentially. Or if it's a business, the business has to be registered and active in the state of Arizona.
Okay. So statutory agents and those officials who can receive the legal documents must be addressed or set here in Arizona, but you can run your company
Yeah,
anywhere.
exactly.
Okay.
You can run your company from anywhere. Statutory agent must have an address, a physical address that's located here in Arizona. And again, if we're talking about entrepreneurs, single member LLC, a lot of times from my experience, what I see is that, again, it's the owner who does it all. The owner might be its own statutory agent, might be the only member. So again, a statutory agent can be anybody. You can use yourself if you want to, or another business, law firm, etc.
So now we're at the step where we have to indicate whether our company is member managed or manager managed. And I don't think that makes that, I don't think everybody gets what the difference is.
Right.
I don't.
Yeah, and don't blame yourself. It's a little bit confusing because it's a mouthful. But if I define the terminology, hopefully it'll be a little easier to understand. So the two options are member managed and manager managed. A member is an owner of the LLC. So if you go with the first option, you're indicating that your company that will be member managed will be managed by its owners. It's as simple as that. The second option is manager managed. That option, you would indicate that your LLC is going to be managed by managers. You're actually going to appoint managers. As it sounds, a manager's responsibility is to run the day-to-day activities of the LLC. So those are the two options. Will your LLC be managed by its owners, member managed, or managed by managers, manager managed? And I would add that you could have dual roles, right? A person can be a member and a manager if you'd like.
All right. So we're about finished with registering, and now we are at the very end. Sign and submit.
That's it. We've reached the finish line. Once you've gone through all the requirements, the final step is to sign and submit.
And this is the part where you might need a credit card. There's a
Yes.
fee. There
Yep.
may be fees involved. Right?
Along with the signing and submitting, you'll make your payment. And if we're talking about filings, typically there's going to be a fee that's required by statute for every one of our filings.
And it's easy as that.
That's it. If you have general questions, we have a call center, we have a front lobby, we have an email service. We provide customer service by large, so we'd be happy to answer any general questions, which will hopefully put you in the right direction.
And that's the other question I was going to have. What if you're old school or you're like me, technologically inept, and every time I try to register for something or do something, my computer freezes. So naturally, I would rather go in person. We actually have a building where you can register.
We do have a building, but I would say even if you are old school, we're here to help. We actually have kiosks or workstations in our lobby where we can get you set up with an online account. And if you're interested in starting an LLC, we have folks who come to our lobby and 15 minutes later, they're walking out with an approved official LLC. So even if you're technologically
Inept,
thank
like
you.
me.
Yeah, sure. We can assist with that. We always try to suggest to file online because of the many benefits. There's a lot of guidance, there's alerts, simplicity. You can access it from your phone. There's a lot of benefits from filing online. However, we still do offer paper filings. We have forms in our lobby. We also have forms that are downloadable from our website. And you can mail, fax, or come to our lobby to hand deliver any paper forms if you like.
And I know some people would just like to have that human help them out, especially if English is their second language. I mean, I don't know if there are instructions in any other languages, or would it be probably best or easier to come in person if that's the case?
Well, both options. So the human touch is always very nice, of course. And so if you want, you can come to our lobby. We also have appointments that are similar to like a booking or a reservation. You can actually schedule an
MVD.
appointment. Yeah, there you go. You can schedule a time on our website to come and meet with one of our customer representatives where you will get one-on-one assistance. I would say, though, if you do that, our representatives are going to urge you to use our online system. Spanish speaking, you mentioned, yeah, we have a lot of Spanish speakers who work for our division, so we'd be happy to translate, of course. But another plug for online, with our online system, there's a Google Translate, so you could translate to any language that you want, including Spanish, and it will turn our online flow into Spanish per se, and you can still file online,
Oh, okay. So any language,
any language.
and the system will automatically translate it into English on our receiving end, right?
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Good to know. All right, so let's go over the website again, so people know exactly where to go, what they need to click on.
Sure. So, Arizona Corporation Commission, you'll find our website, azcc.gov. If you're interested in the business services, there is a corporations division. That's the name that we're under, corporations division. And the current link is eCorp. And you'll click on eCorp and you'll register for an online account. Of course, it's free. But when you're on the eCorp account, there's a lot of resources. I mentioned earlier there's an FAQs page that you can access. There's probably 100 different questions and answers. And I would mention all the things that we covered today are detailed on our FAQs page.
And then you mentioned to sign up for an account is free, but there is some fee for registering, correct?
So to register for an online account, that part is free. But when we're talking about filings, articles of organization, let's say, there's likely going to be a filing fee for every filing that someone would be interested in doing. The filing fees are all set by statute. For articles of organization, the filing fee is $50. If you do it online, there's an additional $35, but the benefit there is that it's automatically approved. I mentioned earlier that we have some folks that come to our lobby, they'll file an LLC in our lobby kiosk, and 15 minutes later they walk out with an approved PDF. And again, it's because it's automatically approved with that additional $35 fee.
So 15 minutes and $50 to $85, and you can have your business all up and running legally here in Arizona.
That's it. That's exactly it.
All right. Well, thanks so much for spelling that out for myself and for people who are watching. And we're hoping that you found a lot of value in this video, and we wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors.
Thank you.